WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany, tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. Today I have something from Sailor's Home, number 3 of my series here. I tried the Haven, really wasn't my thing. Pot still, whiskey from Ireland. I forgot to mention 5% or less than 5% oak was also here. O-A-T-S, oats. Or together with the malted and unmalted barley. Interesting. Great Northern. Good job. Triple distilled, but not my taste here. This I love. The Journey. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful whiskey. Great Northern stuff as well, as far as I can see. Maybe about 80%. Single grain. We have a lot of virgin oak going on here. We have a Jamaican rum finish. Excellent, excellent stuff. And over here, which we're going to actually, I'm going to move these bottles around, which I'm going to do now is the Horizon. Haven, Journey, Horizon, all seafaring terms here. We have a 10-year-old, finally 10-year-old. Look at the color difference here. This is maybe 4 years old, maybe a little bit of 5-year-old stuff. This is 10-year-old with at least I can find online, a 6-year-old finish in our Barbados Rum Casks. Dark rum, Barbados rum. I do not know hardly anything about rum. Sorry. That's a little bit of my problem here. Both of these are 43%. This is 31 euros. This is about 48 euros over here in Germany. So this is the most expensive, which makes sense since it is a 10-year-old product. Now, my problem with the price is the following. If I take this little bottle here, I'm paying 26 euros for this. 10-year-old Bushmill single malt. This is not even single malt. This is a blend of grain and malt. Grain usually cheaper than malt. So this is probably coolie stock that they found or have sourced through Great Northern Distilleries. Thank you very much, John Teeling. Now this is, of course, Bushmills. So this actually, I can get 2 of these for 1 of these. Both of them are 10 years of age. Yes, this does have a finish, but maybe I might actually like this almost as much. So I did not do this in my German video, so why not do it in my English video? Let's compare the 10-year-old as well here. From the color point of view, we're almost the same, but none of these bottles say natural color, so you never know. Mr. Sailor's Home, could you please put on the label next time natural color? Because I definitely believe it is. If you look at the color difference, of course, I would have put the 10 darker than the no age statement here. So on the nose. Now, this isn't something to write home about. I do get very, very light, bright, malty, vanilla, and a little bit of an lemon icing in here. And then I get a tiny little bit of the sweetness of the rum. They're totally different rum types. Barbados rum and Jamaica dark rum are totally different things. At least on the nose, I think I can recognize it. Now here we actually have, which is very typical of Bushmills, we have matured in 2 woods, so matured in bourbon and Oloroso sherry casks with notes of honey, vanilla, and ripe fruit. So this is 40%. This is chill filtered. These are 43% non-chill filtered. According to my information from Great Northern, they have a process of a micro filter. I think it's actually called a micro. It's called a micron filter, where they can actually take out a lot of those fatty acids that might cause the haze in the bottles if they get cold. So they're doing it exactly at the 43% because that's the limit of what's technically possible. You can, of course, have basically chicken wire and get out all the big chunks, or you can go down to coffee filter and you go down even further. As long as it's not chilled down to between 0 and 3 degrees Celsius, 32, 36 degrees Fahrenheit, it's not non-chilled filter. So if you filter at room temperature through a very, very pressurized, thick type of filter, you can still get out most of the products that would cause the haze If they did it, I don't know. But I kind of have the feeling they did. All right, there is a good mouthfeel. They do leave a lot of those fatty acids in there, but they do remove some of that possibility of giving that Scottish or Irish mist in there. On the nose, is there the oak, the old oak moment, a tiny, tiny, tiny little bit for me? And on top of that, I have that lemon and that rum moment. Here, the Bushmills, 10 years old. Much more of a citrus brightness, much more of a honeyed lime moment. I like on the nose, the Bushmills 10 the best at this moment. Well, I forgot about my favorite, which is here our Journey. This I thoroughly just enjoy. It has those new virgin oak casks. It's sawdust. It's a woodworking shop. And on top of that, that dark rum here from Jamaica. Somehow they just did a little bit of magic in a bottle. And I am thoroughly, I'm just thrilled about this. 31 euros, 48 euros. The one that is missing here, the Haven, for 41 euros. So this is the cheapest by far. Should have been in the middle. I did this one first because that's how they listed them on their website. All right, let's try 43, 43, 40 for the Bushmills. This is a little bit thinner. It's a okay whiskey. There's nothing wrong with this whiskey. You have the vanillas, you have the fruit. It says here we should actually have brown sugar on the nose, which I don't have. Tropical fruits, maybe. Malted honey, silky rum, vanilla, and caramelized bananas. I never get bananas, sorry. Or hardly ever. On the finish, it's buttery toffee with orange. Is it tea? Orange zest. Need my glasses. Orange zest. This is a C whiskey. Maybe even on a good day a C plus whiskey. If this wouldn't have just absolutely jolted me into a different spectrum. Wow. Different and very, very nice. Somewhat longer finish. It could actually earn a C plus in my value, in my world. Let's give it a C plus. Value for money, C. As I said, I can get 2 Bushmills for that price. Here, if we go over here to 31 euros versus about 28 euros for the Jameson Black Barrel, we're almost the same in the value for money, as well as the new single pot stills that are coming out. If you take a look at the price, we're usually 38 to 40 euros anyways. We have the Teelings, we have the Glendalochs, we have the Dingles. I actually have Dingles is much more expensive, by the way. So I have here their third single pot still release, and we're over at 65 euros. They do have a prettier bottle, but that's something else. And then we, of course, we have now the Sailor's Home, which is Great Northern. Yeah. So actually, that's not badly priced. This is for the 10 years of age. I'm sure the stock cost a lot more to buy, but still, it's just not what I would be expecting. All right, so value for money, C minus. Of ranking these, I think I had a bad bottle of the Bushmills 10 ones, because this has that freshness, it has that fruitiness, it has that citrus zest moment. I would rank these. I like the Journey the best because it really hits my flavor profile, my wheelhouse. The wood and the dark rum, yummy. I gave this, as I said, a B minus. This over here would definitely be more a C plus. The Bushmills 10, just so we know what we're talking about here, the Bushmills 10. And then finally would be this. Nothing wrong with this. It just doesn't pick me up where I should be. It doesn't transport me anywhere where I want to be. And the price for the bottle, 48 euros, 50 euros, is just a little too much. My personal opinion there. Marketing, okay. Design, just fine. Story, good. They have good people working on this. I'm excited to see if there will be a second batch. I'm not really sure if the founder of the company here, Sailor's Home, that's going to be Cian Quilty, is actually going to do batch number 2, 3, 4, 5, 12. Who knows? My question of the day is, and this is the question I'm really going to ask you and me as well, what do we think about these independent brands? So for America, we have our Barton's Bourbon. Yeah, not Barton's, Bardstown Distilling Company. They make source whiskey for anyone. MGP makes source whiskey for anyone. And in Ireland, it used to be Cooley, now it's then Great Northern Distilleries, John Teeling. That's his concept. His concept is, I don't want to have my own brand. I want to make whiskey. I want other people to market it. And the more I get in the whiskey business, which I'm doing in Germany, the more I realize that you can make whiskey very, very easily. Selling it sometimes is the hard part. Getting the shelf space, getting that brand built, getting that following, getting people not to buy one bottle but more bottles. There's a lot of effort having to be put into actually building those brands in the individual countries, in the individual places to actually have your products there and for them to buy a second bottle. Would I buy a second bottle of this? Yes. Would I buy a second bottle of this? Never. I'm a burnt child now. I have burnt fingers concerning the single pot still again from Ireland. Would I buy a second bottle of this for 50 some euros or 50 euros? No. And this is the question I'm going to ask you is, should there be these independent bottlers actually with no plan whatsoever producing their own stock? These are people that are just building a brand. Some people in America built the brand on MGP. Some people now in Ireland are building the brand on Great Northern. They used to be Cooley, and other people in Scotland building the brands on some of these other products that you can have, that you can buy, and you can be able to make and sell yourself with your own thing. Epicurean, a lowland from Douglas Lang. Scallywag, our Speyside, I think it is. These are just brands that independent bottlers have built up, and they will never produce their own whiskey. They're always going to be creating this and selling it to us. I personally feel that as a consumer, I'm a tiny, tiny little bit, I'm missing out. I'm missing out on that production process. I'm missing out on all these developments and on the actual production to my glass. I don't want to say grain to glass, but from production to glass. Now, these independent bottlers are very, very, very dependent on the market. Imagine the market for 10-year-old Irish whiskey dries up for 5 years, which is going to happen. There's no more old whiskey out there soon. And they can only rely on new whiskeys. What do they do when they have the followings that I love the 10? The other stuff was terrible. What am I going to do? They're going to lose this customer. This brand here, Bushmills, has enough stock laying around. They're always going to have the 10-year-old. All right, I don't know if they're always having the 16 and the 21-year-old that we want, but they'll always have the 10-year-old. And things like that. So I'm not a big fan of people that just make or create brands, that build brands, especially in the whiskey industry, without producing themselves. But apparently there's a market. Apparently there's enough people making money with it, and apparently we don't care that much. So tell me what your personal thoughts are on that, of brand building without your own production facilities in the whiskey industry. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for liking the Haven with the oat and the malted and unmalted barley. To Young, the Journey, so the Horizon 10-year-old. I'm not really good with the names here either. The Horizon, the 10-year-old, okay. A little bit too overpriced, and the Journey, yummy, yummy, yummy. I love this. This was made for me. Thank you very much, Dr. Jack. Thank you very much, Cian, for what you've done, and thank you very much for a good-looking bottle and a good brand. All the best in the future. Thank you very much. Whiskey Jason here. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and tell others. Bye-bye.